Hello. Hello.
You're audible, sir.
Oh. The video, the PPT is also visible?
It is visible. It is visible, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. First of all, thanks to the organizers of St. Xavier's College, Tumba, especially Principal, HOD Rajesh sir, and Coordinator Dr. Ligio Miri, who invited me to present the views on the contemporary relevant topic in economics. That is, we are in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic was adversely affect the all sectors of the economy. The welcome speech, Rajesh sir already pointed out the economic and social impact of COVID-19 in a brief sketch manner. Then my presentation will focus on the same dimension, that is focus on the economic shock of COVID-19 pandemic in Indian context, and also we searching for the new possibility of new normal order in Indian situation. My presentation will focus on the two aspects, that is economic shocks of COVID-19 in India, and the second aspect is the possibility of new normal order. Then first we just sketching this problem through the twin objectives. The twin objectives are the economic shock of COVID-19 in India, that is the first priority, that is economic and socio-economic shocks of COVID-19 in India. Second, we searching for the new normal order in Indian situation. This is the basic objective, that is a basic objective of my presentation. Then the another one, that is a basic motivation of this presentation. The basic motivation is that the health and wealth of the India, means health and well-being is important for Indian economy. Health and well-being means health and well-being of the person is an important for Indian economy. And also the wealth means in terms of the growth, economic growth is also another important aspects. The basic motivation, we focused on the health and well-being of the person on the one side. In a second side, that is the economic aspects of an Indian economy, means the health of the person and also the health of the Indian economy. That is the basic motivation of this presentation. Then you just check into the health and wealth of Indian through the current databases. The latest, the first quarter of financial year 2021 reveals that the GDP growth rate, this GDP growth rate accounted for the negative growth rate. It means that the minus 23.9% in the first quarter of financial year 2020. Then we considering into the sector-wise composition in Indian economy, the agriculture sector has performed well comparatively, 3.5% growth rate. This is a positive indication in the lockdown period. After the normally the quarter one means April to June period, April to June 2021 period. The agriculture growth comparatively better in 3.4%. Then the remaining all sectors, that is especially the mining, manufacturing, construction, trade, hotels and transport, as poor performed, means all sectors was recorded the negative growth rate, means mining negative 23.3, manufacturing negative 39.3, construction negative 50.3, trade, hotel, transport negative 14%. This is the our wealth of the Indian economy means is severe under crisis. Means economic crisis is very dominant in Indian economy in the midst of COVID-19. That is the first case. Means Indian wealth means Indian economy's health is not better. That is that indicated through the GDP growth rate by the first quarter of 2021. Then another one, health of the Indian population. Means health of the Indian population. Here we checking the COVID-19 cases. Then the latest, yesterday, the latest result, India has reported around 70 lakh COVID positive cases. Then currently active cases, it is more than 8 lakh. Then total death was around more than 1 lakh death reported in India. That is, here we focus on the two aspects, the health of the population and health of the Indian economy. Here we realize that the health of the population and also the health of the Indian economy is severely under a deep crisis. Means then how to, next one, the solution. How to overcome these crises, mean the health crisis and the economic crisis in Indian economy, how to way out from this crisis. Then this is a good opportunity for India to rediscover itself. The rediscovering through we follow some new normal order. This is a basic outline of my presentation. Then after that, here we the sketches, the outline broadly categorized into four heads. That is, first one, economic growth variable. Normally, most of the quantitative variable, economic growth variable measuring through the national income, GDP growth rate, per capita income, that type of the quantitative variable take into account the economic growth variable in Indian economy. Here we discuss we will discuss the issues of economic shocks. Then second one, the human capital variable, means it is more concerned with the social and psychological shocks of COVID-19. That is, human capital is an important aspect, means human development is important. Then here we take into also account the education, health and standard of living is the basic component of the human development. Then the third aspects will focus on how to recover these crises. Means how to recover it. Means some economists are suggested that different type of recovery mechanism, or some economists are suggested the different type of curve for recovery. U curve is U curve, V curve, W curve, or K curve. Generally, which in Indian economy growth pattern will follow in which pattern, U or V or K or W. Then this is this will discuss in the recovery section. Then finally we suggested the possibility of new normal order in Indian economy. The new normal order is simply we already wearing mask, then the physical distancing, we follow the physical distancing and also the social distancing. This is a new order in an economy. Then, and also we will suggest the new policy implication to overcome these deep crises, especially the health crisis and also the economic crisis. This is the four-quadrant approach to explain the economic shocks of COVID-19 in India and the possibility of new normal order. Okay. Then first we start with the discussion with the economic shock of COVID-19 pandemic in India. Then this discussion will start with the observation from the IMF. The IMF World Economic Outlook report realizes that world economy is undergoing a process we call it as a COVIDization. In 1991, the world economy is moving through the globalization path. In the 2020 era, is the world economy or world is undergoing a process of COVIDization, or the unraveling of the manifold, far-reaching implication of medical, economic, and social. That is, this present crisis looms into three spheres. Means the present economic crisis looms into the three spheres. Means it is an health crisis, it is an economic crisis, and it also a deep financial crisis. Then, in this context, the IMF categorized into this issue in a explained with the two phases. The first phase is that the phase of containment and stabilization. The first phase more concerned with the phase of containment and stabilization. Second one, the recovery phase. The Kerala is moving through the combining together the two phases. That is, we moving into the phases of containment and stabilization and also the recovery phase. The both two phases are important. That is, the security of public health and economy would be the foremost priority of the policymaker. Then the policymaker take into account the two aspects, that is the phases of the containment and stabilization and also the recovery phase. During the phase first, we providing adequate budgetary support to health facilities. That is, in Kerala, the Kerala government, the starting time, government was announced 20,000 crore for COVID-19 packages. Government of India announced through the Atmanirbhar Bharat around 20 lakh crore stimulus package to address the COVID-19 issues. That is, in the first phase, providing adequate budgetary support to health facilities is required to cope up with the health crisis. The second phase, main objective would be to revive back the normal economic situation. The revive the economy in the earlier position through providing income, credit support should be the top priorities. This is the two important phases suggested by the IMF. Then we have know the situation of demand and supply shocks. Rajesh sir mentioned that the demand and supply shocks. These demand and supply shocks normally entering into an economy, that is, the demand and supply shocks through enter into the economy. In March 24 onwards, Indian economy moving in the direction of lockdown situation. This lockdown was adversely affected Indian economy. This was reflected in the finance channel, real channel, and also the confidence channel. That is, we have know the market situation. Here, generally the real market, money market, and also the labor market. These three market and their interdependence was adversely affected through the lockdown or lockdown situation. That is, business disruption was lowered in production, giving supply shock. Then consumers are not confident about their market. They are not willing to spend. Then demand contraction seen in all sectors in an economy. It was more severe in travel, tourism, hospitality, transport. And also on the supply side, there is a direct reduction in the supply of labor from illness, lockdown, quarantine, which it led to a fall in capacity utilization. Then on the microeconomic front, the COVID-19 is likely to push the economy into the deep crisis due to the demand and supply shocks. This is a serious issue was faced the Indian economy. Today, Indian economy is confronting multi-dimensional challenges, fall in global aggregated demand, in terms of the sharp decrease in the consumption demand, investment demand, then disruption of both domestic and global supply chains, then decline in the private investment and consumption, then providing healthcare, the lack of the healthcare facilities, etc. are the important issue faced by Indian economy at present. Okay. Then we look into the graph. We comparing the GDP growth rate. I am already pointed out that Indian economy GDP growth rate in the first quarter of the financial year 2021 means April to June 2021. GDP growth rate in Indian economy recorded the minus 23.9. Then compare with the performance of other countries. UK reported minus 21.7 GDP growth rate. France minus 18.9. Italy minus 17.7, Canada minus 13, Germany minus 11.3, Japan minus 9.9, USA minus 9.1. But one country was reported the positive growth in the first quarter of this financial year. That country is China. The COVID was started from China, but comparatively, the COVID was effectively managed by China. That is, the China in the first China has better performed in the first quarter of this financial year, but the remaining all countries has reported the negative growth rate. India's GDP growth rate was the huge decline, that is minus 23.9. Then we take into account the sector-wise composition. The sector-wise composition, that is, we take in the blue line the quarter of the 2019-10. The orange line represent the first quarter of 2021. Then here we take into account a comparison between the first quarter of 2020, first quarter of 2021 and first quarter of 19-20 period. Okay. Then in this case, first we take the case of agriculture. In the first quarter of 2019-20 period, agriculture growth rate was reported the positive growth rate only 3%. But in the due to the COVID pandemic or the lockdown situation, agriculture, forestry, and fishing has comparatively better performance. That it was 3.4% in the first quarter of 2021. Then the remaining sectors, we comparing the mining and quarrying in the 19-20 period, it was reported the 4.7%. The latest is minus 23.3. Then manufacturing sector, that is the positive growth rate in the 19-20 period, 3%. But in the first quarter of this financial year, minus 39.3. Then construction sector 5.2 and minus 5.3. Then trade and hotel, transport, communication services related broadcasting 3.5% in the first 3.5 percentage, 3.5 percentage in the Q1 of 2019-20. Then it was the sharp decline minus 47.0. Then comparing the financial, real estate and professional service, the positive growth rate 6.6 percentage. Then the current quarter minus 5.3. Then electricity, gas, water supply 8.8. Here the minus 7 percentage. Then public administration, defense and other services 7.7 percentage. The current period it was minus 10.3 percentage. The sector-wise composition, the only one sector was reported the positive growth rate. That sector is agriculture sector. Then the comparing the earlier position, they reported the first quarter agriculture growth rate is only 3%. But due to the COVID pandemic situation and also the lockdown situation, the people are more engaged in agriculture sector. It was reflected in agriculture growth rate, means it is a positive growth rate of 3.4%. But the remaining all sectors, due to the lockdown situation, the remaining all sectors was adversely affected, especially the construction, manufacturing sector, mining and quarrying. This is the database reflects the severity of the economic crisis after or in the midst of the COVID-19. Then this one is summarized in another way, the engine of the growth falters. That is expenditure by, you just look into the sources of total demand or engines of growth. Generally, we have know the macroeconomic situation, that is y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. That is generally national income consists of y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. C plus means consumption expenditure from the household sector, I from the investment expenditure from the business sector, G means government expenditure from the government sector, X minus M, that is the net demand from the export minus import from the foreign sector. You just look into the individual demand, comparing the two periods, the individual demand, the percentage of changes reflects minus 27%. Then the consumer demand was sharply declined. It was reflected in the minus 27%. Then another one, the investment expenditure reported the huge decline, that is minus 47. Then some positive reflections was seen in the government sector. Then the net demand from export minus import is 165. And in an all, there is the GDP growth rate in the first quarter of 2021. Normally, already pointed out that is the minus 23.9%. Okay. Then this is an economic shock of COVID-19 on Indian economy. Then we analyzing the social shock of COVID-19 pandemic in India. The social shocks. Then first we take the case of migrant issue. The migrant issue is serious issue in Indian economy during the lockdown period. That is, here we conducted one survey, that is Jan Saha survey 2020, conducted a survey. That survey analyzes the impact of COVID-19 lockdown on India's migrant population. Then 83% of the person cannot find job in the lockdown period. Then 80% of the migrant population run out of ration. You just think in the Kerala situation. Kerala has Kerala has effectively managing in the lockdown situation through the community kitchen or free free food. They are providing the free food for all persons. But in Indian context, the 80% of the migrant population are run out of ration situation. Then another issue is a travel issue, that is the not able to return to villages. Migrant population was facing the another issue, not able to return to wages. That is, we take into account the social shocks. We particularly analyzing the migrant population and also the farmer or the socially deprived sections. Then the Jan Saha survey 2020 reported that the COVID-19 lockdown was adversely affect especially the migrant population. This database was reflected that situation. Okay. Then here we summarizes the common socio-economic impact of COVID-19. Social distancing and social isolation creates some problem. Then another one, travel restriction, reduced workforce across all economic sectors. Then the huge economic loss, huge job loss and social and school closure creates some problem. Then disruption of normal life of children, decreased demand for commodities and manufacturing products. Then another one, increased demand in food product. Then domino effect on health care and nutrition. After the COVID situation, we have more concerned with the health and nutritional aspects. Means this is a domino effect on health care and nutrition. Then another issue is an infodemic, means spread of panic and fear through the social media. Then another one, poor people, homeless people, refugees, migrants are disproportionately affected by the health and economic impact of COVID-19. These are the basic socio-economic impact of the COVID-19 situation. This is this was taken from the PI study, conducted one study in 2020, UN study 2020, Nicholas et al. Conducted another study 2020, Gopalan and Misra 2020. All these studies clearly sketches the severity of the social shocks of COVID-19 in India. Then another one is a psychological impact of COVID-19 pandemic. That is a psychological factor is important. Then they summarizes the Ahmad and Murad and UNICEF 2020. These two study clearly sketches, they summarizes that acute panic attacks, significant positive statistical correlation between self-reported social media use and the spread of panic related to COVID-19, stress, fear, and anxiety during the physical distancing seen in children and adults, obsessive behavior, hoarding, depression, the post-traumatic stress disorder in the long run. These two studies summarizes the psychological impact of COVID-19 pandemic in Indian situation, that is Indian society. Then we comparing where the Indian economy stands. Comparing the pre-COVID and post-COVID period, we have not realized the post-COVID situation. We have in the midst of the COVID situation. First we comparing the comparative nature of the economic position in the pre and post period. The pre-COVID period, Indian economy is moving in the direction of economic crisis. They realizes that Indian economy severely moving in the direction of economic shocks from 2016 onwards. That is the one issue, that is demonetization creates some problem. After that, GST creates another issue. GST and demonetization was adversely affects the informal sector of our economy. Then, and it was reflected in the 2019-20 financial year, 2019-20's financial year GDP growth rate. Then comparing the post-COVID, or we have realized the ongoing crisis, there are three interlinked problems. Before COVID situation, we realized the 2026 onwards, we realized that we have moving in the direction of the economic crisis. But the post-COVID situation or ongoing crisis consists of three interlinked problems. That is, first one, economic crisis. Second one, health crisis. And also the world economy is also follows a severe economic crisis. Then you just look into this one. Just look into the GDP growth rate from 2015-16 to 2019-20 period. The GDP growth rate in 2015, 8.8%, 2016-17, 8.3%, 2017%, a sharp decline, 7%, 2018-19, then the huge decline, 6.1, then 2019-20, they reported the 4.2%. Here we comparing 16-17 to 2019-20 period. Why India is going through a sharp decline in GDP growth rate? Means the last quarter of the 2016-13 was adversely affects the demonetization effect. Then after that, the GST issues, the introduction of GST issues create some problem. Then this is a continuing process. After that, the 2019-20 Indian economy realizes that a sharp realizes that the economic they realizes that the sign of economic depression was seen in Indian economy before the COVID-19 situation. Then, and also comparing the Indian reality, the Oxford Committee for Famine Relief Report, Income Inequalities in India 2019, reflects that the asymmetrical developmental paradigm in India. That is, this report mentioned that 2017-18, the 1% of the big billionaire or 1% of the population owned the 73% of the total wealth generated in Indian economy. Means 1% of the big billionaire accounted for the 70% of the total wealth of our economy. Means 99% of the persons holding only the 27% of the total wealth in economy. That is, Indian economy facing a severe income inequality. Then an economic shock resulting from natural calamity or a pandemic pushes many other back to the subsistence sector. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought forth the lopsided development in the country to the forefront. Loss of daily wages has forced a large segment of the society to struggle with hunger unless a relief measure is provided to them. Means Indian economy realizes that we have moving through the lopsided development. Before the COVID-19 situation, Indian economy is moving through the lopsided development. Means that it is a lopsided development, means that Indian economy policy planners or administrators are seriously think about the growth aspects only. They are completely neglect the role of human development, or they are completely neglect the human development issues. They are more concerned with the growth sense than where we India stands, only reflected through the GDP data. They are not taking into account the human development issue. You here the one we have know the one serious debate was already discussed in Indian economy, that is Sen Bhagavati debate. The Sen Bhagavati debate, the Sen means Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen and Jean Dries written one work, Uncertain Glory, India and its Contradiction. Amartya Sen and Jean Dries written his famous work, Uncertain Glory, India and its Contradiction. Then another version, that is another book written by Jagadish Bhagavati and Aravind Panagaria. That book, Why Growth Matters. Why Growth Matters. That book, the Why Growth Matters. Then first book, Uncertain Glory, India and its Contradiction. These two books started one discussion with growth versus development, or growth versus human development. Which one is best for Indian economy? Means economic growth measure we have in development economics we have already discussed these issues, that is growth aspects and development aspects. Then the Jagadish Bhagavati and Aravind Panagaria favored the GDP growth rate is a best tool for country's economic development. GDP growth rate or per capita income is a best measure for country's development. But Amartya Sen and Jean Dries suggested that the alternative measure of development is known as the human development measure. That is, we have know the different human development measures: human development index, human poverty index, multidimensional poverty index, gender development index, gender inequality index, then etc. This global happiness index, global poverty index, etc. But this discussion, generally we realizes that the Sen Bhagavati debate. Then Sen Bhagavati debate, the final conclusion of the Sen Bhagavati debate, they realizes that Indian economy is a lopsided development. The most of the development economists or the most of the human development economists are more suggested that Indian economy is seriously favored to the growth aspects. Means every Indian economist or every economist or policy planners or politicians, or they are more concerned with the growth aspects. That is, Indian economy moving in the first quarter of 2021. They reported the minus 23.9% GDP growth. We are also more concerned with the growth aspects, but the reality is entirely different. That is, the Indian reality speaking in different way. Means half of the under 5 children are malnourished in Indian economy, as per the National Family Health Survey. A National Family Health Survey for 2015-16 reported that around 40% of the under 5 children are malnourished in Indian economy. Then 1/3 of the Indian population are multi-dimensionally poor. 1/3 of the Indian population are multi-dimensionally poor. Means multi-dimensionally poor measuring in terms of education, health and standard of living. Multi-dimensional poverty index measuring through the three aspects, combining together with 10 components or 10 variables. Then 1/3 of the Indian population are multidimensionally poor. Around 40% of the under 5 children are malnourished. Then the Indian agriculture or Indian farmers situation, just to compare the Indian farmers situation, are comparatively poor. Then they are facing the severe threat. Then the government announced the latest the 3 bill related to farmers bill. These 3 farmers bill was adversely affects the Indian agriculture, especially the farmer sector. Then we realizes that the Indian reality is entirely different. The severity, we are the most of the economic students or the economists are more concerned with the growth aspects. We combining together the 2 aspects. We more concerned with the growth, and concerned with the growth, and also we take into account the the human development aspects. Means we comparing where Indian population we stand. We comparing the Bimaru situation. Bimaru, the Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. These portions are highly deprived section. The highly deprived sections are living in this area. This is a Indian reality. But the economists or the most of the policy planners seriously think about that the growth aspects. The Indian reality is a dark shade. That dark shade also was worsened during the COVID pandemic situation. Okay. Then this creates a vicious circle. We have known the vicious cycle. Vicious cycle. Indian economy is moving in this way. The COVID pandemic situation, the COVID pandemic situation creates most of the Indian population are poor performed, lower demand, creates lower profit. Then lower profit will reflect to the lower investment. Lower investment normally reflects the lack of job. Indian economy reported the high unemployment rate in India. Lack of job creates the lower income. Lower income creates lower demand. Then this is a cyclical process. This cyclical process is known as the vicious cycle of development. Indian economy is under a vicious cycle of development. Some development economists are suggested then different arguments related to this development crisis. For example, in the case of Richard Nelson, we have seriously under a severe trap. Means low level of equilibrium trap. Means Indian economy reported the low per capita income or low GDP growth rate, and also the high population pressure in Indian economy. This is a low level of equilibrium trap. Then another one, that is the Livingston theory, critical minimum effort thesis. The Livingston theory suggested that there are 2 concepts related with development, that is shocks and stimulants. Here we already discussed the different shocks through economic, social, psychological, etc. That is the socio-economic shocks. Means economic and social shocks, generally we call it as it is a shocks. Then the stimulants means the Livingston framework. Shocks means it is an income depressing forces. Means growth depressing forces, generally we call it as the shock. We already discussed the economic and the social shocks. Then the stimulants means income accelerating forces. Means, for example, in the country like India, there is an income accelerating means government was more spent on government was more spent on to boosting our economy. Government was more spent on through the public expenditure framework to boost our economy through the pump priming. But in the case of Livingston framework, Livingston point of view, so there are two concepts: shock and stimulants. But Indian economy realizes that in the midst of COVID-19, we have under shocks greater than stimulants. Means economic and social shocks are dominant in our economy than the stimulants package. Government was announced the different stimulants package. They are not sufficient to meet the issue of the COVID pandemic situation and its economic impact. That is the vicious cycle of development, or the the Richard Nelson, Livingston, and all other development economists are suggested. They realizes that the issue of issue of the development crisis in Indian economy. Then we comparing. I am already point out the economic shocks of Indian economy, economic and social shocks of Indian economy. You just imagine with the Livingston point of view. And then another one, the stimulus package, stocks and stimulants. Means the government of India announced the stimulus measures. First one, then March 22, 2020, revenue lost due to concession since more than 7,800 crore for that tax concession. Then another one, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, 1,70,000 crore for Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, allotted for 1,70,000. Then another one, Prime Minister's announcement for health sector, 15,000 crore. This is the first phase of the stimulants package in the midst of the COVID-19 situation. Then another one is an Atmanirbhar Bharat COVID-19 relief package. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Pradhan Mantri or Prime Minister give a call for self-reliant economy. That is, we have know the situation, stimulants and shocks and stimulants. They realizes that, or Indian economy, the policy planners, they realizes that shocks are dominant in Indian economy. Then they are injecting through the stimulants package. One of the ideal stimulants package is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Prime Minister give a call for self-reliant economy. It is a comprehensive package of 20 lakh crore. The Atmanirbhar Bharat based on the 5 pillars, that is economy, infrastructure, system, vibrant demography and demand. Then economy is important, the infrastructure is also important, system is also important, vibrant demography. The vibrant demography, India has benefited the demographic dividend, because the reason is that the average Indian population, average age of Indian population is 27%. We take into the 150 crore of Indian population, the average age of Indian population is 27 years. This is a vibrant demography. There are huge opportunity in the human capital potential of our economy and demanded. Then Prime Minister observed that the package will also focus on land, labor, liquidity and laws. Then the traditional framework or neoclassical framework, neoclassical economists suggested that there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and organization. But the Prime Minister modified this one in a different way: land, labor, liquidity, and laws. Land and labor is important, and also liquidity is also important, and the laws. We reform, the government realizes that the reforms in laws. That is, the Pradhan Mantri Prime Minister observed that the package will focus on land, labor, liquidity, and laws. It will cater to the various sections, especially the cottage industry, MSME, laborers, middle class, industries, etc. This is the flagship program, the relief program, call it as Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliant economy, for the self-reliant economy. Then we take into consider the economy package, Atmanirbhar economy package, explained with 5 parts. The first part focused on businesses including MSME. Second part, poor including migrant and farmers. Third one, agriculture. Fourth one, new horizons of growth. Fifth one, government reforms and enablers. These are the 4 heads, the whole 20 lakh crore allotted for these, the 5 heads, allotted for these 5 heads. That is, they are concerned with the MSME, the deprived sections, agriculture sector, then new horizons of development, and government reforms and enablers. Then here, this slide sketches the Atmanirbhar Bharat in the different part 1, part 2, and part 3, 4, and 5. Then in total, the more than 20 lakh, the 20 lakh crore allotted for the Atmanirbhar Bharat to address the COVID pandemic and the COVID pandemic situation, and also the lockdown situation. Okay, then here we realizes that some shocks, some stimulants was provided by government. That is the first stimulants around 1,92,000 crore. Then second one, RBI measures 8 lakh crore. Then Atmanirbhar Bharat, remaining one. In total, the 20 lakh crore allotted for the COVID-19 stimulants package. But here we take into account how much amount allocated directly. This is one issue. How much amount is allocated for directly? Here we considering the total economic package is 10.30% of the GDP. This total economic package, Atmanirbhar Bharat package and earlier package, is combining together with, we call it as the 10.30% of GDP. This is a comparatively, it is a best package, but the reality is that only 0.54% through direct cash transfer. Only 0.54% means less than 1% is only for direct cash transfer. In the COVID situation, to boost up our economy, we means the most of the persons realizes that direct cash transfer is needed to address issues. But the only 0.54% only in the cash in hand, means the direct cash transfer. Through then some allocation, some measurement is another one, total cash in hand, new allocations not including MGNREGA, only 0.25%. Then another allocation, that is total cash in. So here we realize us that government announced a stimulus package. This stimulus package is accounted for the 10% of the GDP. That 10% is not sufficient to meet the present situation in Indian economy, because the reason is that less than 1% of the GDP transferred to the direct cash transfer. This is a problem. Okay. Then we go to the Livingston framework. Comparing the shocks and stimulants. The shocks are dominant and stimulants are weak. But the stimulants are weak because the reason is that direct cash transfer only less than percentage. That is the reason. The government will provide 10% of the GDP through the cash transfer or direct cash transfer. It will boost our economy. It will boost our economy, especially the consumer demand, investment demand, or boost our business sector. But the government, they provided less than 1% of the GDP through the direct cash transfer. That was adversely affected our economy. Means we get to the same conclusion, the Livingston point of view, shock greater than stimulants. Then how to address the shocks greater than stimulants issue? The shock is greater, economic shock and the social shocks are dominant in Indian economy. The stimulants package, economic stimulants package is not sufficient to address the economic shocks, means shocks greater than stimulants. Then how to way out from this shock? We suggested the new normal order in Indian economy. We will suggest or we will discuss the new normal order in Indian economy. The first one, we have the new normal order, that is the new social and behavioral norms. We follow the new social and behavioral norm, that is social distancing, wearing mask, maintaining hygienic are the new normal. And we have to adjust it with such new norms amid in the pandemic. This is a social and behavioral norms. Wearing mask, maintaining hygiene, then so physical distancing. This is a new normal. Then a new normal, then we take into account the new normal in an economic perspective. A new normal is a state to which an economy, society settles following crisis. When this differ from the situation that prevailed priority to start of the crisis. That is, this is a new normal. Then, sorry. Okay. Then we go through the 1930s Great Depression. The world economy experiences the Great Depression in 1930s. This Great Depression cannot solve by the classical economist. In 1936, one famous work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published by J.M. Keynes. J.M. Keynes suggested some alternative to address the Great Depression. This is a new normal order in 1930s. This is a new normal order in 1930s. That new normal means Keynes suggested that role of government is important. The role of government is important. Means government intervention is needed in each and every field. This same situation also applicable in the present crisis. Means that in 1930s, some economists have suggested that this crisis, the 2020 economic crisis or 2020 world economic crisis, is the revisit of the 1930s Great Depression. We follow or we read general theory of employment, interest and money. Again, we follow some Keynesian prescriptions. This Keynesian principle, that is in 1930s during Great Depression, Roosevelt administration permanently refined the role of government in the US financial system. The Roosevelt administration permanently refined the role of government in the US financial system with the advice of John Maynard Keynes. They realizes that the role of government is pivotal for the country's economic development or countries to address the economic crisis. In this time, countries follows Keynesianism to generate job for the community. Create more job. Government intervention is needed in each and every field. Government pump priming. Government provide the pump priming. Government will provide the government injecting income through each and every field. The countries follow Keynesianism to generate jobs for the community, which will then help to improve the aggregated demand and production. Structural reform are a must. Then 2020 is a landmark, is a dividing phase. In future, we will discuss before 2020 and after 2020. Then in this context, means economic crisis context, we need a structural reform. Structural reforms are a must and should continue focus on the strengthening the country's economic fundamentals. Only they contribute meaningfully towards a more robust and resilient Indian economy. We will seriously think about that, the structural reform. In 1990s, Indian economy facing some serious issues through the balance of payment crisis. Government was implemented structural reforms through the new economic reforms, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. This is a structural reform. In 1950s, government was started the planning process. This is another structural reform. Then in this context is a 2020, the year 2020, we will need a structural reforms to address or strengthening the country's economic development or country's economic fundamental. Then we will discuss the different recovery pattern. Different recovery pattern. Indian economy, we will need the structural policy. Then how to overcome this issue. Then this crisis is a very dominant. How to weigh out from this one. We have know the situation. You just look into the recovery alphabet. That is U, V, W. Then first take the case of V-shaped recovery. You just look into the x-axis, we have given the time. Y-axis given the GDP growth. X-axis time means the 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and so on. Then the GDP growth rate represent the Y-axis. Then we draw a line. That line, in the first figure, we seen the one V shaped recovery. This is a V-shaped recovery. Economy recovers but actively permanently lost. Means that we moving through the economic, we moving through the growth pattern. 2019. In 2010, we will address a sharp decline. Sharply decline. Again, government was implemented some stimulus package. It will reflect the GDP growth. It will reflect in the growth of GDP. Means it is an indication of V-shaped growth. Whether the V-shaped recovery is applicable in Indian economy or not, you just imagine. Then another one, the U-shaped recovery. The U-shaped recovery means it is the U-shaped recovery is slower than the V-shaped. Means recovery, the economic recovery will take more time. That is highly flattened. The growth curve means it is slower than the V-shape. That is it is slower than the V-shape. That recovery pattern is that U-shaped recovery. Then another one, Such-shaped discovery means recovery is longer than V-shape and slower than the U-shape. In between the V and U, the Such-shaped recovery. We have know the sports brand Nike, one side, that is the one tick mark type. The Such-shaped recovery is that frame. That is, recovery is longer than V-shape and slower than the U-shape. The first one, recovery, V-shape, that is huge decline. Then again, the high increase in the GDP growth. Then the second one, the U-shaped means comparatively, the recovery of the growth rate will take more time. Then Such-shaped discovery in between of V and U. Another one, Z-shape recovery. One second. Z-shape recovery. The spending surge fuel GDP above pre-crisis level. That is, first reflect the V-shape. That is economy. During the COVID pandemic situation, the economy will economic growth will down, then recover more than the pre-COVID situation. This is this reflects the Z-shape recovery. Then another one, the W-shape recovery. It means that some zigzag. It reflects some zigzag. The first the GDP growth decline, then again the sharply increasing GDP growth, then and also facing some zigzag, the zigzag shape of recovery. Then last one, the L-shaped recovery. Economy never fully recovers. Means that particular economy will not reach to the earlier position. Means Indian economy in a 2019-20 accounted for the growth rate around 4.2. Then the first quarter of the financial year, Indian economy growth rate was minus 23.9. But the L-shaped recovery is a danger situation. There is no way for recovering this economic crisis. Now you just imagine which recovery pattern will follow in Indian economy. Then another recovery is a K-shaped recovery. is the K-shaped recovery. You just look into the yellow picture. K-shaped recovery. First, the K-shaped recovery means the growing gap between the winners and losses. The K-shaped recovery means the growing gap between the winners and losers. An example in India is the stock market is being healthy. Indian economy is seriously under economic crisis during the COVID pandemic situation, but the the stock market is being healthy in this situation. While the millions have lost their job on the other hand. Means Indian economy, stock market are better performed during the COVID pandemic situation. The millions have lost their job. Rising income inequality is key characteristics of K-shaped. The K-shaped recovery means the professionals. The K-shaped generally seen in the American situation. The country like America, during the COVID pandemic situation, country like America is also follows these type of pattern, the K-shaped recovery pattern. Means the professionals are, the status of the professionals will improve. Means they are more follows in the technological upgradation. They are favored to the artificial intelligence and digital. They are using the digital platform and data mining platform. But the common man or layman or the deprived sections of the society, they will adverse. That is the reflects in the everyone else. This is a K-shaped economy. This K-shaped economy, the K-shaped recovery, is it possible in Indian economy? Then I am already point out that the Indian reality. Indian reality means 1% of the total population account for the 70% of the total wealth. Means the COVID pandemic, some monopolist or some capitalist or some big billionaire, COVID-19 is a good opportunity. They will tapping the income of the socially deprived sections. This will reflect the income of the big billionaire increasing. Then the income of the remaining 99% of the common mass will decline. This is also a K-shaped recovery. The K-shaped recovery reflects the rising income inequality, reflects the rising inequality. Is it possible in India? U, V, W or K-shaped recovery. In this time, we can't, which recovery is best. Just wait and see up to December or January. Then we will realize that which recovery pattern will follow in India. Okay. Then how to manage the recovery? How to managing this recovery? Generally, the managing recovery through structural reforms, then global regional cooperation, then fiscal and monetary stimulants. These three are important. That is managing recovery in an economy through the structural reforms, global and regional cooperation, then fiscal and monetary stimulants. Then the direction for the managing recovery through. First, we maintain confidence in the economic system and the governance. To restore the confidence in the economic system and governance. This one is the first priority. After that, to continue with the fiscal stimulants package for some time at least till the economy rebound. To continue with the fiscal stimulants package means continue with the fiscal stimulants package, more concerned with the direct cash transfer, more concerned fiscal to continue with the fiscal stimulus, more concerned with the direct cash transfer. Then another one, labor intensive sectors need more more attention. Labor intensive sectors means especially we will more focused on the informal sector. More than 90% of the Indian labor force are engaged in unorganized sectors or informal sector. About here we need more labor intensive technology, or here we need more attention to the informal sector. Then and also navigate the initiative, navigate the incentive to better support agriculture, MSME, logistics, transportation, export and import, and health. Then navigate the incentive to better support agriculture, MSME. Some suggestions was made through the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then higher spending on food security, nutrition, livelihood, and public health. Another one, strengthening technology innovation. That is strengthening technology and innovation through the modern artificial intelligence, data science, data mining, etc. And also they promote the strengthening the international trade and capital flows. Then in the present situation, we have facing the severe supply chain destruction in the national and international plane. We need a proper link between the national and international, that is the strengthening the international trade and capital flow. Smart and green logistics, they promote the green initiatives. Then and also fighting the poverty, enhancing quality of human capital, education standard. We will focus on the human deprivation issues also. We need fighting poverty, enhancing the quality of capital, means quality of capital, quality of human capital is important. Means around 150 crore population in India. The average age of the Indian population is 27. But the human potential or human capital, means human populations quality is not good. Means the human capital or the human population's skill will improve, and also improve the new education standards. And finally, strengthening our institution, strengthening good governance, strengthening the government system, strengthening the central state relations. This is a way for managing recovery in Indian context. Then the new normal order. What are the important policy intervention will make in the new normal framework? That is purely the policy intervention. Then first we address the supply and the demand side of the economy. We have know the macroeconomic framework. Macroeconomic framework, that is y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. Consumption expenditure from the household sector, investment expenditure from the business sector, government expenditure from the government sector, then export and import from the international, the foreign sector. Then the only way we more focused on the demand side. The first, the short-term situation, the short-term policy will focused on, we more focused on the demand aspects or demand side of the economy. The simple way we will more concerned with the C term. We more concerned with the C term, means consumption expenditure from the household sector, means increase the individual consumption expenditure. Increase the individual consumption expenditure. That is increase the individual consumption expenditure. Then second one, increase the investment expenditure from the government. Sorry, increase the investment expenditure from the business sector. Third one, government will focus on more public expenditure through the government expenditure, and also address the favored foreign policy. That is, government should come with few more stimulus package to address the demand side of the economy. Government needs to keep monetary policy flexible for quite some time in the near future. Government needed to keep the monetary policies highly flexible in nature, some short span of period. Government should try to make India an easier place to do business, including measures like simplifying GST structure to attract foreign as well as domestic investment. Government should try to ease of, they will promote the ease of doing business and also the simplifying the GST structure. Then another recommendation, the government may switch from low credit and money growth to credit-led recovery. Another recommendation, that is, government may switch from they currently follow the low credit and money growth principle, then to the credit-led growth recovery, recovery. That also reduce the financial sector stress in Indian economy. Another one, the revival of MSME. The revival of MSME. The revival of MSME will focus through the Atmanirbhar Bharat package and also prioritized by bringing more infrastructure and liquidity injection into the sector. MSME will give top priority during the COVID-19 situation, because the reason is that MSME will provide huge employment potential, will provide huge employment opportunities. Then next one, the post-COVID India requires direct money cash transfer scheme. This is this one is the one short-term initiative. That is the direct money transfer scheme that will benefit the majority of the Indian population. At present, the public spending, increase the public spending. At present, the public spending on health sector only 1.5%. We will increase the public spending on health sector around 3 to 5% of GDP. Then another priority area, the revival of the job. The revival, I have already mentioned that the revival of job through MSME. The revival of job, we will more focused on the issues of informal sector. The data indicates that unemployment level in the country has jumped from 6.1% of the workforce to more than 23%. Indian economy comparatively high reported unemployment rate was comparatively very high after 2017 onwards. Most of the job loss has been in the unorganized sector, means in the informal sector. Then programs like MGNREGA have to double. Then the allocation of MGNREGA to be doubled and opened in urban colonies also. That is the this will also address the urban colonies also. Then next one, the government will spend a large amount of spending on infrastructure development, human resource development, skill development, and research will stimulate the economy. Government will focus on the large amount of public spending on the infrastructure development, human resource development, especially education, health, then skill development, and also research and development, R&D. More focus government will spend on the R&D support, which will stimulate Indian economy. Then to promote exports in the foreign sector, India should focus on the electronics, IT-based industry, toy industry, etc. This is a golden chance. Okay. Then the last section, we will discuss the SDGs under COVID-19 pandemic. What is SDG? That is Sustainable Development Goals. UN started or implemented Sustainable Development Goals in 2015 onwards. This will achieve, UN suggested 17 sustainable goals. This will achieve 2030. Then before going to the discussion of SDGs, the UN started another development goal in 2000, that is Millennium Development Goal. Millennium Development Goals. The Millennium Development Goal was concerned with 7 important goals or 7 important components. The achievement period or the Millennium Development was completed in 2015. 2015, UN started Sustainable Development Goal. Then first we analyze the progress of the Millennium Development Goals in India. Then in 2000, UN implemented the Millennium Development Goal. In that period, the Indian economy, comparing the Indian economy with the Kerala economy, in 2000, Kerala economy already achieved 5 goals in 2010. Sorry, in 2000. In 2000, Kerala economy already achieved the 5 goals in 2000. But India cannot achieve 7 goals in